Just wanted to make a quick video for the roof rack rail installation. So the first thing you're going to do is remove these factory rails from the vehicle, and this video is not going to cover that. You have to drop the headliner, but there is a write-up, a detailed write-up with photos on how to do that. So once you've gotten to this point, you follow that write-up, you get these factory roof rails off the car, you're going to reuse the bottom portion of the factory rails. This part right here that sits down into the track along with this rubber gasket is going to get reused. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to remove this Phillips head screw from the front. This is the front side, and same thing on the rear. Okay, so when you get done, it's going to look like this. The rubber piece will be able to peel off, and on the front that's going to expose let's see, this hole down there. You can't really see it in the video, but down there there's another Phillips head screw. On the other side you actually had access the whole time, but same thing, there's that recessed screw down there, so now that comes out. And now what we can do is remove this outside shiny black plastic cover. Sometimes the whole end section will come off, and that's fine too, but ultimately we do need to get this exterior part off. The front tends to be stuck on there harder, so what you can do is take something like a rubber mallet and tap on these bolts until it knocks it free. The rear one though isn't a struggle, so we're going to get this exterior cover off, and then what that's going to do is expose those two bolts, and then those come out. Now what we've done is we've gone ahead and taken the piece that we took off the factory rack and we've put it onto the new rail. So we've got it attached. You're going to reuse the 10mm bolts, and they're going to go on the inside to secure this like rubber mount piece. But we haven't snugged them up. They're snug, they're finger tight, but you can still move this back and forth so you can adjust it on the vehicle to where it needs to be. Then you've got your rubber base plate that's going to go over as well. On the front side, on the vehicle, this piece of metal needs to curve down like this, because this is going to sit like this on the vehicle, and that piece needs to kind of curve down. You see how it's got that curve in it? Before you go out to the vehicle or while you're there, you can just bend this piece right here by hand. And a little more curve never hurt anything, because it'll straighten out once you put it on the vehicle. But if it doesn't have enough bend in it, and when you put it on the car and it's kind of coming straight out or up, that's not good, because there's not going to be then pressure on that rubber base piece that sits underneath it, and it's going to be flapping in the wind, and this is also going to make noise in the wind, so just bend it down a little. Okay, so we're on top of the roof of the car now, and on the previous videos you saw that I had nuts on here. That's just so we didn't lose them. You're going to take those off, because those bolts are going to go down through the holes in the roof inside the track, and you're going to put those nuts on from underneath, from inside the cab. So go ahead, clean all this up. I would recommend squirting some silicone around these holes before you put the bolts through. Just keep everything watertight. So your hardware kit is going to have a bunch of these bolts right here with that hex head on them. I don't really see a reason to use all of them to replace all of the factory hardware on the front and rear, because we know that that stuff is the right length and it works good and it seals properly. But for the middle support on the roof rail, you're going to need to use some aftermarket hardware, because the bolt stays captured on the OEM rail, and you don't need it for this one, because this one has like a foot that sticks down into the channel. So I just went ahead and used setup like this, where it was lock washer, flat washer, and then I even used this rubber gasket piece to help keep the water out. Again, you could also use a silicone instead, and then this goes on the inside to secure your middle piece. So as you can see, it's gonna look like that, and then you'll be able to mount your crossbars to it. Let me just show you that front area. See that front bar, how we bent it down Sorry for the light out here, guys. I know it's real bright. But now that front bar rests down on the pad, puts pressure on it, keeping it nice and flat. As we bolt it down, it'll be tight. And if yours is kind of like sticking up like that, just bend it down with your hands. You'll need to do it off of with the rail off of the car in order to bend it down enough. But yeah, then it'll work. So I hope that helps. That's how you install these roof rails onto your Gen 3 Mitsubishi Montero. That's 2001 to 2006, and then pretty much any brand of crossbar that you want, you can just take your measurements and you're just going to basically insert it through one side to the other, and you'll be good to go. This is a real cool rack because it's real low profile.